Okay. I guess it's a continuation from my other video that will be posted. For some reason, I don't know why my Wi-Fi is not working. So I don't know when I can upload these. I might have to leave or wait until I can turn on a hotspot. But I guess my Wi-Fi, because I switched to AT&T for some reason, um, and it's not like it works once in a while with my laptop, but sometimes it doesn't. And I don't know if it's just to mess with me, like messing with me, things are messing with me, or if it's because my Windows is like a higher Windows. But I don't understand why AT&T would give me a freaking Wi-Fi box that doesn't know how to connect to the highest Windows. Like I'm not understanding that. So yeah, I don't know. I'm having aggravation with my Wi-Fi. I just don't like to pay for things and then them not work. That's irritating to me. Obviously. So anyway, okay, so more going on this. More going on where your focal point should be. I do not at this point, I can't say that if you're focusing on the things around you as far as we're not supposed to focus on the things around us. This is what I'm being told. Only on God. Nothing else. So a lot of people do have their focal points in the wrong direction. Now, you are allowed to tell people your truth in the sense that you understand Jesus is coming, okay? And you understand your position as a child. Last night, they gave me Jeremiah 5:10. And then they sent me to Isaiah today, Isaiah 5:12. And I read from 5:12 to 7. And the connection that they made with the vineyards is something that they obviously made because I would have never knew that these two books or verses like connect with the words. I would have never known that. So it says, "Go through her vineyards," is what they were saying last night. That at least my job. I can't tell people their jobs, okay? But I can tell you what God's telling me. And God's telling me to set my focal point. God is telling me in a sense to strengthen like the daughter that he has created me to be and to be a strong outlet for other people's focal point to be on. I don't think that a lot of you people are understanding that. If you are part of the 144,000, you sit next to Jesus. Therefore, you're going to have people following you. You understand? Because Jesus is, we follow Jesus. It's the only way to go get into the kingdom. You understand? But these people didn't want to follow Jesus correctly because they were blinded. I don't even know if they didn't want to. It's just that they're so freaking blind they can't see the truth. You understand? So then God set the 144,000, the brothers and sisters of Jesus in the physical form, for them to be examples to the multitude. So the multitude will follow them because now they are in their perception 3D vision. Do you understand? So when you sit here and you're freaking out about all the things to come, all these things that are gonna hurt you, I'm not understanding. Just not understanding. Jeremiah 5:10 tells us to go through her vineyards and ravish them, not destroy them completely. Strip off her branches, for these people do not belong to the Lord. Sorry, I had to grab my charger. Okay, go through her vineyards. This is go through the world. The vineyards is the world. Okay, understand that. That's the creation, where everything is growing, where everything is living, and ravish them. Stir them up, but do not destroy them completely. You are to tell them your truth. You are to ravish people in the sense of letting them know God is coming and and God is sending his son and the second coming is approaching us. But as brothers and sisters of Jesus, shouldn't this be your most joyous time? Not that of worry and scariness and fear, but of joy. Of joy. Aren't you happy? Aren't you happy he's coming home? There should be no fear. Strip off her branches, for these people do not belong to the Lord. Basically, anything that these people are latching onto that is not God, you are to take away from them. Whether it is their jobs, yes, their jobs. Do you understand when things start happening? Most of these people are not going to have their jobs. A lot of jobs will be gone. What are they going to do then to make money? I mean, I'm not worried about making money. I'm making money from home. Not really worried about anybody ever firing me. I'm my own boss. You ain't firing me. Because God provided me with all of that before any of this shit happened. You understand? So my job is to only prove to people that that's why I am eating and thriving when it seems that their world is crashing down around them. Because wasn't Jesus thriving? Wasn't he? Even in this world when he was broken poor, wasn't he thriving more than any person who walked this earth? And didn't he walk and stand straight in that knowledge? That knowledge that he was richer than any of these people? Bringing that bringing others' attention to the abundance that God is pouring upon you is stripping their off their branches. You understand? Because they're seeing that you're not lying when you say you know God. When you say you have a one-on-one connection with God. Jesus and brothers and sisters, the people, the 144,000, are also living proof of God's true existence. As they are the ones that follow who? The Son of God. All right, give me a second. I'm just going to the next book. Come on. Mm, okay, so then I was taken to Isaiah 5:12, and then I decided to read the whole book to up to chapter 7. So we'll get into that. But I was just given 5:12 today. So basically, God is telling his children to go and do this. Let them know that pretty much you don't run a damn thing in this world because this is about to be God's world. Pretty much. So all this shit that you like to hold on so tight to, your government, your jobs, your false educations, your false families, your false friends, your false relationships, your false connections that aren't sent to you by God. These illusions that are all around you, the illusions that are all around the vineyards, all around this world. He's telling his children to tear them down. And then he continues to say in Isaiah 5:12, And you can't tear them down by scaring them. No, you tear them down by proving that you have the ability to do so. They have harps and lyres at their banquets, pipes and timbrels and wine, but they have no regard for the deeds of the Lord, no respect for the work of his hands. And this is why. This is why this is all happening. Okay? You have everything you want, you have everything you need, you have the ability to ask and receive. Okay? When you have your, you go home and you get a paycheck, and you can pay for things or whatever, you don't thank God, you thank yourself. You don't thank God. That's why a lot of people are struggling, because you don't thank God. You think it was you who did that. That's why you don't get any further, because you don't thank him correctly. You don't thank him. You have no regard for the deeds of the Lord. And the deeds of the Lord is that, what did he do for his children? He provided them with what? The double-edged sword, which is what? Your words. You have no regard for the deeds of the Lord, the power that he has already given you. No regard at all. No respect for the work of his hands, of his creation, of his mother, of his son. And then if you go to the chapter, the whole chapter, 5 and 7 is a warning to these people. And all you are to do is to really let people know that this is God's warning, not yours. Not yours. This is God's warning. I will sing for the one I love a song about his vineyard, a song about the world. My loved one had a vineyard on a fertile hillside. He dug it up and cleared it of stones and planted it with the choicest vines. He built a watchtower in it and cut out a winepress as well. Then he looked for a crop of good grapes, but it yielded only bad fruit. Okay. I, this is where I'm being shown when it says these things. He dug it up and cleared it of stones and planted it with the choicest of vine, the choicest vines. Okay, so he's talking about the world, and then he's talking about his children. So he dug it up and cleared it out of stones and planted it. So this is creation. When he created it, when he created creation, when God created this world, this is what he did. He dug it up and cleared it of stones and planted it with the choicest vines. And what was that? His children. Representation, Adam and Eve. Okay? But it wasn't just Adam and Eve. There's a whole bunch of other brothers and sisters too. Okay? The Elohim, the image. They were down here. He built a watchtower in it and cut a wine press as well. This is the one-on-one connection. The watchtower. He can see everything his children are doing, watching them all the days of their lives, being their shepherd, being their watcher, being the tower of refuge that they would one day need. Because of why? Then he looked for the crop of good grapes for the children that he sent here within the image, but it yield only bad fruit. Okay, so they had already fallen at this point. You've fallen. This is why you're bad fruit. You've fallen already. Now you dwellers in Jerusalem and people of Judea, judge between me and my vineyard. You separate them. You judge between me and my vineyard. How can you judge between something if you're not making a comparison? And how can you make a comparison if you didn't make a separation? These dwellers in Jerusalem and people of Judea, who are not his people, they judge between me and my vineyard, me and my world. So you're separating God from his world. That's what he's telling you. That's why you're not his people, because you separate him from his world and his children. What more could have been done for my vineyard than I have done for it? When I looked for good grapes, why did it yield only bad? Everything he's done for his children, everything he did for us, and yet we still chose to fall. We still chose to disconnect for whatever reason. Whether you remember or not, doesn't matter. Obviously, this is how we got here. Now I will tell you what I am going to do to my vineyard, my world. I will take away its hedge, and it will be destroyed. I will break down its walls, and it will be trampled. Garden of Eden. I will make it a wasteland, neither pruned nor cultivated, and brewers and thorns will grow there. I will command the clouds not to rain on it. The vineyard of the Lord Almighty is the nation of Israel, which is a representation of the entire world, and those all things that are real. And the people of Judea and are the vines he delighted in. That's his children, are the vines he delighted in. And he looked for justice, but saw bloodshed for righteousness, but heard cries of distress. Okay, so this is clearly telling you at this time your disconnection was clearly off, because when they were in the Garden of Eden before they fell, they had everything. They were righteous. There was no bloodshed. There was no cries of distress. They had it all. And then he gives a warning. Woe to you who add house to house and join field to field till no space is left and you live alone in the land. Okay, this is basically just talking to humanity who's completely destroyed the world, and now they're completely alone in the land because they have no connection with God. You don't have a connection with God, you have nobody, regardless, because Lucifer's never on anybody's team. I mean, he could sit there and pretend he's on your team and be cool with you for a little bit. The motherfucker's always going to stab you in the back. God doesn't stab his children in the back. There's the difference. The Lord Almighty has declared in my hearing, surely the great houses will become desolate, the fine mansions left without occupants. This is just talking about just completely destroying this earth. A 10-acre vineyard will produce only a bath of wine. A homer of seed will yield only an imph of grain. Meaning that everything, okay, so a 10-acre vineyard, because it obviously should be pouring wine out. You understand? So all these things, now what God has given you has been lessened. You are getting minimal. You understand? After the fall, we were getting minimal. Yes, he still loved, and yes, he still gave, but it was minimal. Woe to those who rise early in the morning to run after their drinks, who stay up late at night till they are inflamed with wine. They have harps and lyres at their banquets, pipes and timbrels and wine, but they have no regard for the deeds of the Lord, no respect for the work of his hands, which is also your bodies, clearly. Therefore, my people will go into exile for the lack of understanding. Now, when he says my people will go into exile, this is the fall. This is you forgetting. Those of high rank will die of hunger, and the common people will be parched with thirst. Why do you think those of high rank died? You understand? Worse things happen to the ones who had higher rank. And the common people will be parched with thirst. So there is a difference. High rank will die of hunger. And you die of hunger because you will no longer be getting spiritually fed. And when you're no longer getting spiritually fed, now you have the illusion of death. This is why you die. Therefore, death expands its jaws, opening wide its mouth. Into it descends their nobles and masses with all their brawlers and revelers. So death only exists because you are in exile. You were in exile. So people will be brought low, low vibration, and everyone humbled. The eyes of the arrogant humbled. Meaning, obviously, there was once a time when his children were able to do certain things. You understand? When he was within them, when they had a full connection. Okay? And our arrogance, our unobedience took away that connection. There was a point, I think, that we thought we may have been bigger or didn't need God. But the Lord Almighty will be exalted by his justice, and the holy God will be proved holy by his righteous acts. Now, we all know God is not coming down here. He never said he was. He said his son was coming down here. And those like his son, the 144,000, were coming down here. We know that spirit fills those true children. And God will use you and your vessel to be proof, holy by his righteous acts through you. And once he proves this through the vessels, then sheep will graze as in their own pasture. Lambs will feed among the ruins of the rich. Okay, so the children, his true children, once this is all done and conquered, we will begin to gaze on their own pasture, that of the 5D, that of heaven, that of the connection that we once were in exile from. And lambs will feed among the ruins of the rich. Right, because this world is coming. I mean, there is things that are going to happen, and people are going to fall. But the true children will be feeding off of that, not worrying about it. I say let them fall. Woe to those who draw sin along with cords of deceit and wickedness as the cart ropes. To those who say, let God hurry, let him hasten his work so we may see it. The plan of the Holy One of Israel, let it approach, let it come into view so we may know it. There's a lot of people in this world who have said, let me see God. I want you to prove God. Prove God. God, prove yourself, Let it approach, let it come into view so we may know it. But when you do this, well, those who mock God you cannot mock God. Okay? And I mean, we all, in a sense, have said these things. Like, let me see, let me see. But God's, when it says the arrogant eyes will be humbled, like God is letting his children see. So now you do see. So now you do see that you need God. You understand? You do see that. But there's going to be others who don't see what we see. That's why God's going to use us to show them. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil. Clearly, churches who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. There's a lot of people who do that. Okay. You like to go sit in pews and pray but you have no relationship with God. And then you like to tell people things about like talking to the angels, that's the devil. Okay. So now you're putting lightness into dark. Okay. Bitter for sweet. and sweet for bitter. So saying that in order to be a godly person, you must be living in poverty, like the freaking priest and the nuns, living in poverty, doing nothing. No. So that's what it's saying. Everything is backwards. Everything is backwards. So when you're using your words to scare people in this 3D world, instead of going in the 5D and creating what needs to be done in this 3D world for these people, like inspiration, joy to get them through what's about to come. Woe to those who are wise in their own eyes and clever in their own sight. Exactly. Those people better be careful. I see with my eyes given to me by God. Woe to those who are heroes at drinking wine and mixing and champions at mixing drinks, who acquit the guilty for a bribe but deny justice to the innocent. Pretty much the whole damn government. Therefore, as tongues of fire lick up straw, and as dry grass sinks down in the flames, so their roots will decay and their flowers blow away like dust. For they have rejected the law of the Lord Almighty and spurned the word of the Holy One of Israel. And the law of the Lord of the Almighty is the living and breathing word. And the living and breathing word came in the example of who? Jesus, his son, in the living and in the flesh. And those who follow Jesus follow that truth. Your words are real. So don't spin the Holy One of Israel's. Okay? Because that's the power he invested in his real ones. Therefore, the Lord angers, burns against his people. His hand is raised and he strikes them down. The mountains shake and the dead bodies are like refuse in the streets. Yet for all this, his anger is not turned away. His hand is still upraised. Well, he's lowering it. That's what you need to understand. For his children, he lifts up a banner for the distant nations. He whistles for those at the ends of the earth. Here they come swiftly and speedily. Not one of them grows tired or stumbles. Not one slumbers or sleeps. Not a belt is loosened at the waist. Not a sandal strap is broken. Their arrows are sharp, all their bows are strong, their horses' hoofs seem like flint, their chariot wheels like whirlwind. Okay, so he's talking about his children, and this is the projection of them. Not one of them grows tired. So this is what he's saying. Even throughout all of this shit that I'm going to put my children through, okay, all these lessons that I'm about to teach you because you don't mess with our connection, that's going to hurt you. And it has hurt us. Not one of them grows tired or stumbles. Not one slumbers or sleeps. Now, God looks at us stumbling way different than we look at us stumbling. Okay? I guess if you don't come back to God, that means you stumble. But when you come back to Him and come back to Him, that's the point. He keeps putting you through hell, so you keep coming back till you stop leaving. Their arrows are sharp, all their bows are strong, their horses' hoofs seem like flint, their chariot wheels like a whirlwind. Okay, so they took godly weaponry. Godly weaponry. He's saying, my children have godly weaponry. This is why he's always trusted in his children. This is why he sent you. He trusts in you. He knows you're coming home. So focus on him. Their roars like that of a lion. They roar like young lions. They growl as they seize their prey and carry it off with no one to rescue. Meaning that once God says, okay, this is our prey, all this 3D mentality bullshit, that's my prey. I'm tearing it down. I'm ripping it apart. You understand? ripping the shreds out of the bullshit lies that these humans believe, ripping them. How am I going to do that though? Well, first I have to prove it, don't I? I don't need to literally yell at people. No. What do I got to do? Make money, sit in my house, tell motherfuckers, hey, look at me. I got God. Keep playing with me. Keep playing with me. In that day they will roar over it like the roaring of the sea. In that day, in the end days, in today and now. And if one looks at the land, there is only darkness and distress. Even the sun will be darkened by the clouds. And if one looks at the land, exactly, you're not supposed to look at the land. 3D land, 3D land. There is only darkness and distress. Even the sun will be darkened by the clouds. Okay, so this is Isaiah 6:1. And then they start talking about okay, so this is where Isaiah blah 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 in the year that King Uzziah died. Okay, so it's talking about a dream. I saw the Lord I saw the Lord high and exalted, seated on a throne, and the train of his robes filled the temple. And don't forget, your body is the temple if you're a real child. People don't remember this. Above him were Seraphian, each with 6 wings. With 2 wings they covered their faces. See, I don't know what above were seraphim. Hold on. I think that's some kind of angel. I'm guessing because it's talking about seraphim. But it is talking about the angels. Well, how I was looking at it anyway when I read it. Hold on, though. Because I really don't know what that word means. Okay, yeah. So a type of celestial heavenly being in Christianity and Judaism. Okay, well, I never learned that in church. Okay, so I'm assuming this is an angel because I don't know what other celestial being. Well, maybe not. You can't say that. I can't say because there is celestial. Okay, so whatever. Some type of celestial being comes to Isaiah, and I'm gonna have to look more into that because it has 6 wings. They're saying that it has 6 wings. Okay, so traditional places Seraphim in the highest rank in the Christian angelic hierarchy, and in the fifth rank of 10 in the Jewish angelic hierarchy. Okay, so a seminal passage in the book of Isaiah 6:1 through 8. Oh, 6:1 through 8. 6:1:8. So, or 6:1 through 8. So that can't be a, oh my gosh. So that's not a coincidence that the celestial being is coming in the love, one with God, and infinite. Okay, the numbers. So he says, above him were a seraphim, each with 6 wings. With 2 wings covered their faces. Oh my goodness, I wonder. Two, they're the highest of the angelic hierarchy. Each with 6 wings. I wonder how many they were covered their. With 2 wings, they covered their faces. With 2, they covered their feet. And with 2, they were flying. And they were calling to one another, holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty. The whole earth is full of his glory. Well, isn't that what they're saying now? All the angels. This is so crazy. This is really going on. Okay, at the sound of their voices, it's not crazy, I mean, but it's like, it's just, I get excited. At the sound of their voices, the doorposts and thresholds shook, and the temple was filled with smoke. Woe to me, I cried, I am ruined, for I am a man of unclean lips. Now listen, this is where I'm going with we all are this. So be careful. I don't care what ranking you think you have. If you're living in this world, this is all of our problem. Woe to me. This is what Isaiah is saying to the angels or the celestial beings. And this is true, because this is what we all need to say, because this is so true what Isaiah is saying to them. Woe to me, I cried, I am ruined, for I am a man of unclean lips, and I live among a people of unclean lips, and my eyes have seen the King, the Lord Almighty. Okay? The King, the Lord Almighty. Why is Isaiah talking about his unclean lips? If Isaiah doesn't understand that his words are the double-edged sword, why was it so important for him to say that when he's seen God, when he was seeing God or seeing the celestial beings or the science or the angels or whatever the heck they're talking about, like whatever type of being? I don't know, I wasn't there exactly, so I'm not gonna say. According to him, he has 6 wings. Okay, so I am ruined, for I am a man, and this is true. This is everybody in this world right now. We are all ruined because we all have unclean lips. You don't know how to speak. You want to say just anything at this point that is not. Understand, if you snap on somebody at this point, like yell at them, snap on them, talk bad about them, this is bad words. You're not creating. Okay? You're not creating anything. Your words are only to create things. Create good things. Because you are now in the 3D with the ability to bring down the 5D because of your words, because you have been sealed. So now your words are your words are clean. This is something that has to be worked on, but you have the ability to create with your words. So until you work with God one-on-one and start cleaning up your mouth and your focal point, you can't do this correctly. And I live among a people of unclean lips, and my eyes have seen the King, the Lord Almighty. So he knows that. The one of the Seraphian flew to me with a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with tongs from the altar. When it touched my mouth and said, "See, this has touched your lips. Your guilt is taken away, and your sin atoned for." And your sin atoned for. Do you understand? God has told us we are created in the image. If you are a true child of God, you are created in the image to create. God gave you this power willingly. This was his destined plan for you to understand this power that he's giving you now as a child. Because God has anointed you, touched you, sealed you. He has, in a sense, touched your mouth, bringing you the knowledge that this is an ability, this is a gift to you, bringing you the awareness, allowing you to heal, doing all these things on our journey, in a sense, was a purification process, because now God has not only touched our hearts, our souls, transcend our souls into spirits, but he's also touched our lips. He has taken our guilt. Your guilt is taken away and your sin atoned for. And your sins are forgiven. Your guilt is removed and your sins are forgiven. Then I heard the Lord of the voice saying, "Whom shall I send, and who will go for us?" So this is us remembering this exact thing. You understand? This is what waking up is. God is reminding his children what he did for you, what you were sent here to do. You were sent here to wake up to this power and to prove it and to teach it. Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send? And who will go for us? That's what God said, for us, for the Elohim. Okay? So who is he talking to? Who was contracted? Who was contracted to come down here and help these people ascend by truth? Us, the twins, the 144,000. That is us. That is I. God said, and this is what Isaiah is telling about this exact moment of the contract and why the contract was even made in the first place. To rid of the uncleanliness in the words and of the people. Because the people are the living and breathing words if you are part of God's kingdom. And who will go for us? And I said, here I am, send me. Okay, so they cleaned his mouth. They put the coal on his mouth. He understood that his mouth was dirty and the people around his mouth was unclean. He thought he was doomed. God took that from him. He took that from him and said, who am I sending now? Who am I sending now? Who shall I send and who will go for us? Why would they be sending anybody or going anywhere? You understand? Some of these stories may not are happening now. Yeah, they happened then and now they're playing out now. We are the ones who were sent to tell people this. Here am I. Send me. He said, go and tell this people. Be ever hearing, be never understanding. Be ever seeing, be never perceiving. Meaning, hear only God, but never understanding. Don't understand their ways because their ways are wrong. Be ever seeing, see God, their focal point, but never perceiving. Do not perceive their bullshit 3D illusions. This is what he told his children before sending you here to prove that your words are real. And manifesting is what is the gifts of the children. Make the heart of this people callous. Make their ears dull and close their eyes. Otherwise, they might see with their eyes, hear with their ears, understand with their hearts, and turn and be healed. All right. Make the heart of this people callous. So obviously the ones who have been sent down. Oh my goodness. This is really not that hard to interpret, guys. Make the heart of these people calloused. Okay. Callous is what? Cold, hard, right? Like if something's callous, you got a callous, it's hard. So make their hearts hard. Okay, so I guess until the purification of our hearts, it was kind of hard and cold, right? So those who were sent here to tell this truth also fell into exile at some point. God knew that this would happen. So make the heart of this people callous, make their ears dull, and close their eyes to the spiritual world. Otherwise, they might see with their eyes, hear with their ears, understand with their hearts, and turn and be healed. It was the only way for you guys to come to God. You had to be cut off to bring yourselves to God. And when you brought yourselves to God, you learned who you are. You are the people sent here to show the way, the truth, the light. You are the ones who follow Jesus' truth. Then I said, "For how long, Lord?" So he's asking, "How long are you going to do this to them?" And he answered, "Until the cities lay ruined and without inhabitant, until the houses are left deserted and the fields ruined and ravaged, until the Lord has sent everyone far away and the land is utterly forsaken." Which, hello, we're all over the world now, okay? This was when in the Bible of Israel. So this is when he said, this is when it's happening. And though the and through a tenth and though a tenth remains in the land, it will again be laid waste. But as the terebinth and oak leaves stumps when they are cut down, so the holy seed will be the stump in the land. Okay, so and though a tenth remains in the land, it will again be laid waste. I think like tenth of the children remain like in the world, but it's still going to be in 3D, right? But as the terebinth and oak leaves stumps when they are cut down, so the holy seed will be the stump in the land. Okay, so basically when the 3D illusions are cut down, understand, when the 3D illusions are cut down, knocked down, blah blah blah, then the only thing that's sprouting is the holy seed, because that's what was always in the stump of the land in the first place. So when you're ripping these vineyards, the vines, you're only, when they're like, you have to take away all of the illusions to start. It's like plants, like plants. This is what like fucking vines, like shit that is killing God's people. Like, what are those? I don't know if they're whatever kills like pretty flowers, weeds, weeds, pretty much weeds, yeah. So we're weeding out all the 3D illusions, all the bullshit, so that people can see the holy seed. What is the holy seed? The children. And how do you see the holy seed? How do you see the children if they're not working? If they're only talking and not doing? It's 4:41 right now. How do you see the holy seed if you are not doing? If you are not creating? If you're only talking shit like everybody else in this world? Keep talking about nuclear wars. You're no different than those stuck in 3D to me. You're really not. I mean, I guess you're like in 4D, because at the end of the day, 3D don't even know what's going on. 4D, you understand what's going on, but you're still paying attention to 3D and not have your focal point on 5D. And that's like so if you're in 4D, you know what I mean? You have to uplift to 5 and then go up. All right, I think I'm kind of going to stop there. You can read chapter 7 if you want. Oh, there was a part that I really liked in here. Oh, hold on. That was a good verse. Hold on. So let's just go here. This is Isaiah 7:9, and we'll just go to the bottom of it. It's talking about the head of Ephraim is Samaria, and the head of Samaria is only Ramellah's son. If you do not stand firm in your faith, you will not stand at all. Okay. And I'm sorry, you stand firm in the faith that you were sent here, by God. If you stand firm in that faith, then understand your words are real and understand that you are here to prove to people the power in you because of your father, your king, your brother. Okay? Your words are so important in this time. I'm going to pull a couple cards to just kind of help out a little bit with this message. Let's see what we get. Because I've seen too many people still doing this nonsense of worrying. It's been placed on my heart to talk about it. So from now on, I'm focusing on what God gives me and creating. Okay? And I mean, that's what I'm told to do. That is what I'm told to do. I'm told to do that. I don't know if that strengthens the divine masculine. I don't know what it does. I don't know what it does. I don't know if my strength gives them strength. I don't know. But all I know is I'm told to be strong. That's all I know. And I'm told to be a daughter and be obedient. And I'm told to create. And I'm told not to let anybody knock me down. And to not let anybody freaking scare me. That this world is my prey. That your 3D illusions and your false concepts that you poured all over this world are being torn down. And I'm going to be the one showing you it. Because I got a big ass mouth. And when I say I came from the kingdom and time is now and I'm one of the bosses sent, I'm not playing with you. Test me. You want to live in misery? You want to live all small? When are you going to understand heaven is on earth? You're not going anywhere. So start creating your heaven now. Celebrate life. Stop complaining. Stop worrying. Stop. I celebrate every day by honoring and respecting all on Mother Earth. Honoring and respecting all on Mother Earth. And they told me to do 2 more out of this deck. So I'm doing 2 more out of this deck. Oh, that's the freaking... I should take those out. Sometimes what are these? You know, the intro card or whatever it is. All right. 2 more of these, they said. Oh, come on, really? Could have held them better than that. This is a really imperative topic. Obviously, that's the only reason I yell. People are like, why does she yell? Okay, do you know what time it is? Because I'm like 1 on the 4 line. I'm probably like really, really up there. I'm sorry when I say that, but I know I am. I know I am. I know that a lot of people, your faith is not as strong as mine. When I say all things are possible through God, I'm not afraid to prove it. I'm not. I'm really not. Balance. I understand and embrace the opposing forces in life that bring about balance. Right. Always understand, too. Another reason why I'm not scared of the things that are happening, because all that destruction that's coming is actually a cleansing of Mother Earth. I mean, if you look at it in the 5D sense, stop looking at it in the 3D sense. Look at it as a purification of your planet. Look at it as a purification of your mother, of the womb. Look at it as a purification of it's a purification of everything. Because now that the mother is being back, I guess, announced, or her children are noticing her, you understand, like, now we're being rebirthed through her. Do you get it? Like, that is the balance. So am I mad that there's destruction going on? It's a promise from God. Am I worried about that shit? No, not. Crown chakra. Ding, 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 ding. I said I was a queen. I was a mine. I know I'm a part of source and my life is guided by divine wisdom. Hell yeah, that's why I ain't worried about the same shit a basic person is. I ain't worried, I don't care. I really don't. I really do not. I'm sorry. Jesus tells me not to care. I don't know. Sometimes I'm wondering what's going on when I got Jesus people talking about how the world is ending. My world ain't ending. My world's getting better. My world is getting better. My world ain't ending. I don't know. My world's not. All right. Let's go for a. Okay, so these cards that I pulled in the first place, we're going to talk about in a second. The conscience spirit. I like these ones too. And then I got you. Divination of the Ancients, baby. All right, so we're going to go with divine masculine. Power that needs to be amplified and enhanced. Just a personal little flavor for somebody. Oh, nature. Okay, she would get nature. All right. So that's divine masculines. All right. Divine feminine gifts that we should be working on enhancing for our king. The things that we should be having our focal point on at this point. Oh, I don't know if I should just take the top one. Hold on, we're gonna do it again. Should just probably took the top one. Don't worry, we'll get power one more time if that was what it's supposed to go. Seeker. Oh wow, I never got this card before. Alright, so divine masculine, power to be amplified and enhanced. Divine feminine, powers to be focused on as of now. Divine collective, let's just do one as a whole together. Combination of the masculine and feminine, what gifts do they have combined that they can each be focusing on as a team effort? Abundance and we got money, 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 money. It's for all my brothers and sisters who say you gotta be broke. No, you don't. All right. All my sisters and me. If you listen to your king, you'll never be broke again. I promise you that. So we got 43. You can look at it as 4 is angels, 3 teachers, master teachers. Earth angels are sent here as the master teachers. Obviously we went through Isaiah 6. What was it? 6, 1 through 8, I believe, with Isaiah and the Sultan. Yeah. And that's where the contracts were for the twins, guys. And that's telling you that you were actually sent back here to prove that your words are real and manifest. That's the only thing that you are, if you are a twin, that is your only contract. Stop talking about things that are none of your business and not part of the kingdom, please. Do us all a favor. Do yourself the favor. That's the last time I'm going to say it. Now I'm just going to get into my manifesting ways. I cannot be telling people what to do with their life. You're either going to follow contractual laws or you're not. Even that Bible just told you that was your contract. That was the rules of the contract. But my twin always knew that. It's funny because he did. I celebrate every day by honoring and respecting all life on Mother Earth. Celebrate life. Celebrate life. Why are you talking about all this destruction? All the discrimination, all the hate. Why are you talking about that stuff? That ain't celebrating life that God gave you. The five elements of earth are the five elements of earth, air, fire, water, and spirit combine to create and sustain all life on our planet. The life we experience on the physical plane is truly a unique gift. This card is asking you to honor this gift by living life to the fullest. Live from your power center, your heart. By truly feeling every experience through your heart, you will gain a greater appreciation of all life. If sitting under a tree really, if sitting under a tree, pause, really see and feel that tree. Become the tree, sense its powerful roots. So this is like telling you in your tree, what your tree is an anchor, right? Your tree is anchored into the ground. Jesus is your anchor. Okay? So you need to feel all of Jesus. So I'm telling you, get out of that 3D. Sense its powers, sense its powerful roots anchored deep within the earth, drawing nurturing energy up into the branches and leaves. Feel it reaching out to the sky, drawing the energy of the sun down towards it. So, like I said, drawing the energy of the sun down towards it. Okay, it was always told the prayers of the 144,000 would bring on the second coming. It's not just your prayers, but your words. Jesus is coming. He is coming. Like these things are drawing the sun down. You living out and completing your contract to teach people the true living and breathing word, the sword, the double-edged sword that are your words, is part of your contract. Apply these feelings to your own life. Feel the pulse of life in everything around you. Merge with the elements and with nature. And divine feminine or divine masculine got the nature card. I do like nature, but it's freezing outside, so I haven't been outside. I do not like snow. You know, I live in Chicago. I've lived in Chicago my whole life. My whole life, 30 years. I can't. Well, not that I don't like snow, but I just don't like the cold. I don't want to go out there. Look around you and take in the wonder and beauty of all things seriously. I don't like to go outside. I mean, I only do it if I have to. Life is short. I mean, when it's this cold, obviously. Do not waste time by creating negative emotions or experiences for yourself or others. Negative emotions or experiences. This is fear. Telling people, oh, the world, nuclear wars are coming. They're coming for you. Like, don't do that to them. I'm gonna be like, ain't nothing happening because Jesus said, like, oh, I'll be such an asshole. That's why God loves me. Because God knows I will taunt these demons. Like, you need to knock it off with your scare tactics. That's why I'm a G rolling in a Benz. Like, I don't have a Benz yet, but I will. I will. I will taunt you too. I don't like when people don't understand what Jesus is really trying to teach us, his real brothers and sisters. Um, do, 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 do. Life is short. Do not waste time be creating negative emotions or experience for yourself or others. Yeah, we're not here to either. You're supposed to create positive experience, positivity for these people throughout the hard times. You understand what's about to happen in this world? You are like the light in the world of darkness. Be a light. Don't scare them. Be the flashlight. Like, it's okay, guys. We're going home. All this was told to us. Why are you so scared? Ain't nothing happening to us. Get over here. Like, that's how you're supposed to be these people. Do you two things you love to do daily and allow that love to flow out into the world? Hell yeah. Let love uh, flow out into the world. That's all I'm supposed to show people is that I love the life I live because it's given to me by God and I'm alive. Celebrate every moment, every aspect of life. Celebration. We are, what is it? Celebration. I don't know. It's not coming to me right now. All right, so let's go. All right. Balance. I understand and embrace the opposing forces in life that bring about balance. So I guess this is also us as the contract, those who are contracted to this, to understand something. This, all of this destruction that is to come or is coming or is kind of happening already. So the dark, it it really is allowed by God though. Don't forget that. Like, I'm not scared of it because God's allowing it. God's allowing it for his better plan. You understand? To bring balance in each of his children, to balance of the feminine and the masculine, because that's when you become a true child of God, when you have that balance, and that balance is then bringing union. You understand? Which is then bringing the second coming of Jesus. So don't scare people with that. I'm happy that the second coming is coming. I'm happy that we're about to get balance. Let the destruction come for whoever it needs to kind of clear out and purify all this bullshit. It needs to get out of here for the real ones to be balanced again. It's okay. That's not scary. That's amazing. That's heavenly. That's heaven on earth for ya. Like the Bible said for 1,000 years. Didn't we? Anybody pay attention when they were in church? I don't know. Sometimes I did. Sometimes I didn't. I was little too. I was little when I was like, no, I only heard what Jesus said here. That's what I know. Okay, so then the crown chakra. So, because what is the kings and queens who listen and are obedient, followed Jesus, you followed your brother, you listened to the Lord's law, you followed your brother, you were obedient. So you got what? Ding, 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 crowned. You were obedient. You did your contract. You let people know your words are the double-edged sword. You prove that stuff in their 3D reality. You did what God said you were allowed to do. Crown. Crown like a queen that you were always promised to be. Heaven is on earth. Don't forget. The new earth is coming. Actually, it really is coming. I know, because I had a dream about I trying to think of the day. It was the day after I put up the John the Baptist. The night that when I put up John the Baptist, the forerunner, the feminine is the forerunner, that night I had a dream. I was laying on, I don't know if my twin was with me. He might have been with me. I can't really remember. There was a man silhouette, but I didn't see my twin. But I'm assuming it was. Because it was like I didn't see. All I know is I was laying on the ground, like looking at the night sky, like with my head. I was laying, and then there was somebody next to me, but I didn't see who it was, So I'm assuming it was them, but I didn't see who they were. So I don't know. It had to be them though. So anyway, I'm looking up in this, like you would look at the stars or whatever, but it kind of looked like a movie because it kind of looked a little like crazy, like fake, like a computer game kind of. I don't know. So anyway, so as I'm looking up at the stars, like looking at the sky, and the sky, there was like an asteroid or whatever, like an asteroid, I don't know, like a comet, like a freaking, like in the movies, like the comets, okay, flying by, but it was close to the earth, like to me. Like it was like the sky, like, okay, so here am I and here's the sky pretty much. And then it's like that, so I wasn't that far from the sky when I seen this. So, but it wasn't just a comet, like it wasn't, I don't know if it was Nibiru, the new earth, whatever. I had spoken to a brother about this. I did tell my brother, I never said it on the video though, that this is kind of what happened to me that night. So, but it was a comet, but it wasn't like a scare. It was pink, like bright fuchsia pink, like I guess like this maybe, but no, like a hot fuchsia. Like it was like a color I've never seen. Like a hot fuchsia, but maybe a little purple tint. It was weird, but it was really pretty. And then so half of it was that pink color, and then the other half was gold, and it was like a planet, like a flying planet, and then it had like the gold, like a shooting star, like how you would draw a star and then you'll have the little things that make it like a shooting one. Okay, well that's kind of how it was, but the thing was a fireball. And so the pink and gold, the gold and pink were flames. Like the ball was a fireball shooting in the sky, but it was pretty colors, like it wasn't scary. Okay, so when I told my friend this, and I said, I wasn't exactly sure what it meant exactly, and he was like, it means God's glory, like we're winning, and I was like, yeah, I figured like it was like we're winning, but we are winning. You understand? But you have to position yourselves correctly now. You have to position yourselves correctly now. All right. So I know I am a part of Source and my life is guided by divine wisdom. So there's no need to worry. Did I read the balance? Oh, let me go over here. Okay, so I understand and embrace the opposing forces in life that bring about a balance. The yin yang is a symbol of balance and represents dark and light, passive and active, feminine and masculine, bringing about equal, so the twins, bringing about equal measures of each side to a situation, but recognizing when it is the correct time to apply either one of these in life. Yeah. And that is kind of what we're going through too, like when to apply the masculine, when to apply the feminine. That's always been a really hard thing for me. I've always applied the masculine way more. I just look like a woman. I'm not. Now I am I don't know. I do apply the masculine more so in my life. This card is asking you to look at all aspects of your relationship and situations. Ask yourself whether your response is the best choice to bring out a positive outcome. If you are not bringing positive outcomes out of situations, stop doing it. If your first instinct in a situation is to become aggressive, perhaps it is time to practice a calmer approach. This card may also mean that you need to practice moderation in certain things. Take stock of your life with complete honesty. Seek out the areas where there is a or lack or excess, conflict or stress, and concentrate on bringing about more balance to these areas by taking a different approach. Balance in all areas. Habits are difficult to change, so be patient but firm with yourself when making these changes in your life. Yeah, still talking to me about my smoking habit. I know. All right. Crown chakra. Crown chakra is linked to thought, cognition, and self-knowledge. Oh, yeah. Well, that's not um the fact that God is linked to your thoughts, what you see, and your self-knowledge given to him by him. Its name is Sharasha and means thousandfold. The colors associated with it are violet and white, and it is situated at the top of the head. The crown chakra is your link to source, to divine knowledge, the spiritual aspect of self. It is through this chakra that you can experience pure spiritual peace and acceptance of the divine. It represents pure thought, pure thought, pure thought. You are not wearing your crowns if you are not pure thought. These thoughts of the nuclear war, thoughts of the shit coming, that's not pure. It's not pure. Not wearing your crowns correctly. This card is asking you to balance and open your crown chakra and tap into the deepest sources of spiritual wisdom. The time has come for you to acknowledge that you are a spiritual being experiencing a physical existence. All the higher dimensions support your spiritual growth. By awakening your true spiritual aspect, you will find unlimited support and guidance. Embodied deep within each of us lies our own unique spiritual language. Go within, learn this language, and share it with the rest of the world. This card is also asking you to encourage and assist others to find their own personal spiritual connection. That is the only thing you should be telling these people to do. Your path may not be exactly right for them, but the destination is where you will find common ground. help others find the tools and guidance they might need. That's the whole point of the children. Thank you, angels. I love when they validate me. Because that would make me a liar if they didn't. And I ain't no fucking liar. Oh, where's the book? Come on.